niggas stop playing, nigga. Y'all niggas know what the fuck going on. Big 4L, big steppers, big footprints, pussy.
Southside on the track,
pussy,
yeah.
pussy, 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 pussy. Okay, 21. Okay, 21. Okay, 21. Okay, 21. Big 4L, I'm a member. Yeah. Leave a art cold like December. What? 4-5 on me, it's a Kimber. What? AK knocking down trees like timber. Get your baby mama before we bend her. 21. Hit the windshield, not the fender. 21. Giving out smoke, my agenda. 21. Throw the white flag, they surrender. Pussy. All black tux, I'm a businessman. Pussy. Me and I still shaking killer's hand. Whoa. Take the plug off in the middle, man. Whoa. Spray the whole block, I don't give a damn. Whoa. Fucking nigga, bitch, I'm a gentleman. 21, your bitch know I been a man. 21. Playing with the rock like I'm Jigga Man. Gotta look a nigga in the eyes when you kill a man. Glock in my lap, every wow, scrap. Most these rappers, cap. I ain't giving doubt. Glenwood to the flat. Used to rock it, trap. Money tall, shack. Chopper bullets, splat. Chuck E. Cheese, racks. We get rodents, whack. Way too many steppers. I can't hold them back. Body full of scars. Face full of tats. You pray on your knees. I pray to my scrap. Say you won't smoke, but the fire come with it. Money on your head, nigga, will come get it. New Caltech, put a Honda in it. Apartment so sweet, throw a honey bun in it. Keep it in the street, I ain't doing no squilling. I don't ever put women in my business. Full-time rap, I ain't doing no drilling. Whoa, whoa, I can make an M in my sleep. Straight up, sound team breaking down a P. Oh God, 18 start selling Harbor Little B. $100 3-5 a whip from D. Riding down Glenwood, tank on E. All about the money, I ain't never smoke weed. Cool young niggas still take your cheese. Pussy not mine, this bitch for us. The gang is what I trust. Straight up, don't argue, we don't fuss. Straight up, no talking, he get touched. Straight up, I can't smoke my arts, cause all my arts is dust. Pussy, he think he the battery. We call him Elon Musk. Pussy, open your mouth when I bust. 21, suck me up slow, don't rush. 21, having 3 sons is a must. Straight up, hit her from the back and she cuss. Oh God, I put this bitch in the band. 21, she used to ride on the bus. Done. I walk around with them thigh pads, but I ain't got no yard rush in my lap. Every wow, scrap. Most these rappers, cap. I ain't giving doubt. Glenwood to the flat. Used to rock it, trap. Money tall, shack. Chopper bullets, splat. Chuck E. Cheese, racks. We get rodents, whack. Way too many steppers. I can't hold them back. Body full of scars. Face full of tats. You pray on your knees. I pray to my scrap.
Hey, hey, plug walk. I don't even understand how the fuck my plug talk. Pick him up in a space coupe, I don't let my plug walk. New freak, had to cut my other little bitch off. Ooh, 50K, you could come and book a nigga for a plug walk. You can reach me, space coupe like E.T. It's the plug tryna call me. I was up chopping early in the morning. Ooh, on the wave like a durag. Pussy nigga calling for his boo bag. Plug walk, Gucci on my shoe racks. Woke up in the house till I ran into the plug. Till I ran into the mud. I done ran into some racks. I done ran into your girl. Why the plug show me love? I done came up from a dub. Plug walk. Plug. I don't even understand how the fuck my plug talk. space coupe, I don't let my plug walk. New freak, had to cut my other little bitch off. Ooh. 50K, you could come and book a nigga for a plug walk. Big ol' Bentley is a spaceship. Call me on my phone, I don't say shit. I make money when I talk. I'm a boss, take a loss. I can introduce you to the plug. Bitches say no Henny in my cup. Stay down, now the racks up. She gon' let me fuck ass up. Plug. I stuck keys in a Louis V. Fuck 12, I'm a G, ain't no stopping me. And my wrist is on overseas. Rich nigga, you can talk to me. Plug walk. I don't even understand how the fuck my plug talk. Pick him up in a space coupe, I don't let my plug walk. New freak, had to cut my other little bitch off. Ooh. 50K, you could come and book a nigga for a plug walk.
All right, legends, good morning. Turn my mic down a little bit. Seems a little loud. All right. Hope you guys doing well. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the stream. We don't need this anymore. And then let's pause that guy there. Alrighty, yeah. Good morning, y'all. A lot of GMs in the chat. I think we need to bring back the GMs a little bit, dude. I saw some GM slander by like, I don't know who the Nikita guys is, CEO, CFO, some O of Twitter. Straight up, I didn't even know who that guy was until all that stuff started trending. But yeah, you're gonna try to suppress people for saying GM. Fuck you, you piece of shit. Good evening from London, dude. Love London. I've only been one time, but I had a great time. Right, let me close that up so you guys don't hear the Discord beeps. I don't think we should be trading this chop. JK. Yeah. I mean, I've had a good time, dude. Me personally, I took off a good chunk. So I traded all the way through basically the first week of December, somewhere in here. So I was lucky. I caught a lot of this volatility. This is pretty much where I went on vacation, was like the first week of December. And then I came back and started trading Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. I think it was Christmas Day was my first trade back. So I missed a good chunk of the chop. But pretty much since Christmas Day, I've been trading on the variational account, which, by the way, if you guys want to check that out, feel free. Use my code. Don't use my code. I don't care. But probably the next airdrop farming thing. I'm trying to get on the leaderboard, not going to lie. I'm trying to get like top 100 on the leaderboard. I've only been trading on there a few weeks now. I took a few trades like before vacation, obviously, on variational, but it wasn't the main trading post. And since coming back, it's been like the main trading post. So we'll see how that goes. The account is up pretty good. So like when people say don't trade the chop, they're kind of just speaking blindly from experience. So people tell you not to do things that have burned them, right? That's where wisdom essentially comes from, right? People get burned doing something and they think that, hey, I shouldn't do this, therefore let me warn other people not to do this. But in trading, like, you know, some parts of life, your father, mother tells you don't touch the stove, right? They're saying it for your own good. When it comes to trading, especially through CT, 99.9% of the accounts out there on CT that are yapping cannot trade. That's just a fact. That's not even like a speculative thing. That's just a fact, right? So the advice that gets parroted and echoed of like, don't trade the chop, I don't think it's like, you know, the best advice, because you just zoom out, guys. What are you not calling chop in this? right? So you say, okay, this isn't the chop. This isn't chop, but even here, there's a little bit of chop, right? Okay, this is not chop. That's still chop. What is not chop, right? It's all chop. All Bitcoin does is chop. The whole thing is chop. So if you're just not going to trade the chop, you're just basically trading like 10% of the year, right? Some chop is more choppy, some chop is less choppy, but it's all chop. The whole thing is chop. The whole chart is chop. This whole cycle has been chop. So I think it's literally the most detrimental advice you guys could follow, is the whole don't trade the chop. And it's actually getting to the point where it's like people who I maybe even respect who are tweeting that stuff out, I've been muting, because I don't think they're serious people, right? Like, are you not paying attention to the market? Have you not been trading this market for the past few years? Are you just not trading? Maybe you're a buy and hold alt swing trader. Okay, great. Not that many people are going to make it in crypto buying and holding alts blindly with no system, no experience, no nothing. So I genuinely think it's bad advice. I've been giving the opposite advice. I was born in the chop. I was raised in the chop. I became a profitable trader in the chop. If it wasn't for the chop, I wouldn't be who I am. You can always learn to trade trends. I think that's the easiest thing to do, but applying a trend-based system to a choppy market, it's not going to work well for you, right? So learn how to trade ranges first, and then you can always just add trends. I don't think they're that hard to trade. Also, learning the discipline of trading ranges and range-bound price action, I think is essential. I think you have to be ultra disciplined. You have to be sharp on your entries. You have to be very smart on your exits. It teaches you how to trade, right? And you can always just turn your brain off and ride trends when they're there. I don't think learning how to trade a trend-based system is that difficult, to be honest. I picked it up in a month and a half. It took me like 6-7 months to really nail down order flow. It took me a year to get price action. It took me a month and a half to pick up trends. I think that's like literally the easiest thing to trade. But the downside is, I guess the nuance is you have to know when to turn it on and turn it off. I think that's the only skill set kind of required, is going, okay, yeah, we're in a trending environment, fantastic. How do you know when we're going to shift to a range-bound environment? That's probably the only skill set that's going to require some experience for you guys. Anyways, name of the stream. So I thought, it deserved a little bit of a yap. OmniDocXPT is the code for those who are interested. Yeah, use my code if you want. You don't have to use my code. I don't really care. But yeah, feel free. I think the code actually does some benefits for you. The variational team was actually very early in hitting me up. They were hitting me up as like last summer. So no one was talking about variational back then. And these guys were like, used to work at Woo. And I had a deal with Woo for my streams and stuff like 2 years ago. So like I still knew those guys, and they went on to work for like variational. So they just DM'd me and they're like, hey Doc, I guess this is like very early alpha. They're like, dude, start farming here. And I just ignored them, obviously. Until very recently when everyone started talking about it. So I'm a dummy. But yeah, I think there's probably some benefit to using my code. I don't actually know what it is. Maybe I can check for you guys. I'll look it up on my laptop quick. Nelly probably knows. Maybe Nelly knows. He can tell you. Otherwise, just sign up, use it, whatever. Pork got chopped as well. Yeah. The thing is, were you getting chopped up here? It's the same price action. It's literally the same price action. Look, you have like 1 day of like a directional move. This is just confined choppy price action. This is like 1 or 2 days, right? This is a 4-hour chart. So a couple of these candles, 1 or 2 days of a directional move, choppy price action. Look, this week, these lows right here is the same thing that we were dealing with right now, right? It's the same price action. It's the same thing. Like August, September was really crappy. Look at this. This is the top, guys. This isn't a bottom. This is a top, right? So you're saying like these are good conditions, quote unquote. People are happy and thrilled. It's the same price action. The same things I was doing over here back in July, the same way I was trading here back in July is the same way I'm trading today. There's not much difference. It's the same thing. I would even argue this is better than what this was. At least we got a little bit more volatility. If you can't trade the chop, you can't trade end of. I think there's some validity to that. I don't think that's completely true because there are news traders. There's people who only trade trends, and they're so good at trading trends that they'll find a trend, right? They'll be like, okay, I'm not going to trade Bitcoin. I'm going to trade this altcoin. I'll find the trender of the week, right? So you can do those kind of things, right? For me, I'm a Bitcoin trader. I think the easiest flow to read in the market is Bitcoin. You have the most tools to trade Bitcoin. It's going to lead all altcoins. You kind of know your expectations. You're not just going to get wild price action out of nowhere like you can on like criminal altcoins. I think your sizing can be very consistent on Bitcoin. You can systematize your sizing as well. The sentiment was different. Absolutely. Sentiment up here was 180 degrees different than down here. Absolutely. Absolutely. But do you guys remember trading summer? Did you guys forget what this was like? It's the same thing. The same choppy bullshit Barty price action. Chop, do nothing, revert every move, pump, full retrace, pump, full retrace. It's the same thing. We would get New York pumps and we get New York dumps. We get New York dumps and we get reversals. We get these bleeders with FUD and then we V-shape reverse them, right? It's the same thing. I think if people are telling you don't trade this, what they're essentially telling you without saying it is that, hey guys, I can't trade this. And they're essentially telling you they have not been able to trade any of this. So they're telling you with full confidence they were unable to trade here, they were unable to trade here, they're unable to trade here. They couldn't trade any of this because it's all the same. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, let's do a little bit of Bitcoin analysis. Let's talk about the bull case first. I have two cases to present. One is the bull case, one is the bear case. I'm going to present the bull case first because, spoiler alert, this is the one that I think is more likely. I think this one's more likely, and this is the one that I'm kind of trading. So let's actually remove all of this. We don't need this for this argument. Okay? So basically since 1010, right, we've been rejecting the daily trend. Yes, we did have one tiny blip above it, right? We traded above the daily. We dropped right back below. All of these red dots are rejections. I probably could have added more red dots in here, right? Depending how you want to, define a rejection, right? This is the first time we've flipped the daily trend. Anyone who's been watching my stream for the past 2 years knows that a massive part of my system is daily to weekly trend gap fills, right? We have nailed so many for de-risking as a bull the exact same way. The same way right here. The same way right here. The same way at the April top is when the daily trend is lost, my bias becomes the weekly trend. Let me remind you of this in reverse, right? Let's look at April, May of 2024. We held the daily, we lost the daily. Did we tap the weekly? No, we front ran it, we full reverted, full barted, and then we tapped it, right? There's numerous examples of Bitcoin doing the exact same thing, of front running the weekly and then tagging it later on. So we did that here. We front ran it, we came back, we're sitting right here. I still think we're going for the weekly, right? That is my base case right now. That's what I think is going to happen. Remember, I was the first one on your guys' feed to tell you expect a range back in November. I think a lot of people had, way different calls, bear markets and zeros, and I even heard some people that I respect saying, hey, the range is the least likely thing that's possible out here. I think the most likely thing is immediate, continuation downwards, right? I called for a range. We got our daily trend flip. I think we're going to get the weekly trend tag, right? Weekly trend's fat. Now, when people ask me about, okay, what are the EMAs and this and that and what's the target, it's a generalized location. I'm not trying to say, hey, 95.9 exact or the top of the band or below the band or we're going to deviate above the band or below the band. It's just a point of interest, right? So I think we're going to trade closer to that point of interest. If you're long bias down here, you de-risk towards the point of interest. The closer you get towards the point of interest with no positioning, the worse EV is it for you to open up trades up there, right? So treat it accordingly. Okay, so that's your bullish argument. Hope that's all clear. The bearish argument is pretty simple. I'm going to go back over here, get flashbanged, nerds. Very, very simple. We've been trading in 8 weeks of value, right? Simple value argument is if you break and hold above a value, right, you're going to expect continuation in the direction of the breakout, right? So if we push above 93, 94K as we did to open up the year, and we hold above that value, we expect continuation of the top side. If we fail, rotate back into value, it oftentimes leads to a rotation to the other side of value. So what you're looking at is right here, a breakout, a failed breakout, and dropping back in. The bearish argument would say, hey, we're going to go towards composite value very low. There's also an open CME gap here. We know the stats for the CME gaps. If you guys are confused, I can, feel free to ask. I can explain it. So that's your bearish take, right? Is that we've dropped back into value. It's going to be another value to value rotation as we've seen in all this ping pong price action, right? So technically this is your bearish retest. This pump today is your bearish retest, and we're going to come back to the value very low. That would be your bearish argument. The way that you're going to try to position for this is buy pukes into the point of interest that you want to defend. So what's the easiest place for us as bulls right now to say, hey, this is the level we want to defend. This is where we want to go from. This is where our invalidation becomes really simple. It's the daily trend, right? It's the daily trend. And it's like the weekend low sweep. So what did I do this morning? I called it out for Paragon in the morning, and then on my outlook is basically, look, let's sweep the weekend lows. We have a local composite, 5-day composite build up here. Let's go towards the discount of that, maybe take out the weekend low, and then we can revert back upwards. We did exactly that, right? So we got an end-to-end rotation. I basically sniped the absolute pico bottom of this, but I TP'd on the way up, right? So I TP'd within like the first hour of New York session, all the way to 90,800 or something like that, right? So I didn't catch the full part of this move. I got the reversion, I didn't get the extension. For me, as far as like mean reversion goes on big New York session pukes, I don't really care for runners. I found that through my stats, leaving runners is kind of like a coin flip, right? Sometimes you get extreme bangers, and sometimes it reverts on you. And I just know myself, if I round trip a trade, I feel much worse than if I fully close and price goes further. Because if price goes further than my target, so be it, right? There's a new trade. You nailed, you executed your game plan perfectly. Price went higher, so be it. There'll be another trade tomorrow. There'll be another trade maybe even later today, right? That's where we're standing. The big point that we need to clear right now is 93K, 93K being our 8-week composite value very high, right? Hope that's all clear. Bullish case, bearish case, how we trade the chop, where you want to position, all of that. I'm going to stop there. See if I miss anything. Hey, what EMEs are those? Too rich to trade this chop? Skill issue, dude. The difference is hope. That's a good point. I think so. Let's talk about game theory. I'll flip the script. So anytime I get low viewers in my streams, I always feel like sharing more. Anytime I get a lot of viewers in my stream, for some reason I feel like sharing less. I don't know why it's like that, but I always feel like maybe I owe it to the people that are out here and joining the streams on the times when no one wants to show up. So from a game theory perspective, right? Let me zoom out and remind you guys of what this looks like. Okay, it's a 2-year. Oh, there you go. There's the variational code. I don't know why that's there, but there you go. There's a variational code. Mega multi-year uptrend, 1,000-day uptrend, a 1,000-day uptrend. Let me put this into perspective for you guys. This is a longer uptrend than Bitcoin has ever had in its entire history. Maybe let's use a different chart. Oh my goodness. Let's just delete everything. Look, 800-day uptrend, right? What is this? 300 days. Almost 1,000 days. So just shy of 1,000 days. 950 days. Massive. Biggest uptrend Bitcoin has ever had. Anytime Bitcoin has lost a high time frame, giga uptrend like this, it leads to a downtrend, right? I think everyone believes the same thing. Everyone says, okay, the trends are cooked. It probably, we have probably going to come lower, right? you would understand that sentiment is terrible. There's no hope. Everyone feels bad. Everyone feels whatever, right? We're all on the same page here, right? So how do you get people to forget that? You send price higher. You send price higher. That's the only way to do it. The way to get people to forget this, forget the doom and gloom, forget that price is going to go lower, right? Everyone says to themselves, hey, I'll sell the complacency shoulder, I'll sell the complacency shoulder, I'll sell the lower high and whatever like that. I'll get out of my bags and just give me an exit pump, yada, yada, yada. Now comes the time where we'll see if the people that say they're going to do that are going to do that, right? So if we do push upwards, we push up to 96, 97, hopefully higher. Let's send it as high as possible. Why not? It's easier to trade an uptrending market, right? Send to 100K. That's the easiest way to get people to completely forget the high time frame picture, because you know what they're going to be saying? They say, you idiots, Bitcoin's been doing this all cycle. You idiots, it goes down 30%, and then it goes back up, and then it goes down 30%, and then it goes back up. You idiots, we're still in high time frame bullish market structure. That's just another higher low, right? That's what the voices on your feed are going to be saying up here, right? If we get up here, right? If that's in the cards. If we get above 100K, that's what everyone's going to be saying. It's structurally fine. We set another higher low. High time frame market structure is intact. They will forget all about the underperformance. They will forget all about Bitcoin basically distributing above the highs. They will forget all about how the majority of this price action, this entire price leg, was sailor driven as long-term Bitcoin holders sold into them. They will forget about the trending argument. They will forget about dropping back into last year's value. They'll forget about everything, right? All those things will be forgotten, and they'll just look for the hopium new all-time high. And that's probably, where Bitcoin's going to top. From a game theory perspective, the easiest way to go lower is to go higher, right? That's why we haven't broken down here. And that's why people are too scared to bid the lows, is because they keep thinking it's going to break down, right? Even though price is contained within the range and you got plenty of opportunities to trade both sides of this range. The fear of lower down here is why you can't long. And the fear of higher up here is going to be why you don't sell. 96K club still up. Yeah. I already gave you guys the bullish argument kind of maybe 10 minutes ago or something like that. I gave you a bullish and a bearish argument. I kind of don't want to repeat myself because I just finished saying it. So if you join the stream a little bit late, I would just rewind a couple minutes. Right? That's about it. I think one of the other things that caught my eye, a couple other things caught my eye, is that ETH BTC. Ooh, I guess not of this morning. Yesterday I looked at ETH BTC and I did not mind how it looked whatsoever. This has kind of just been crabbing upwards. ETH itself was looking pretty solid. It had the kind of same structuring as Bitcoin had, where we're flipping the daily downtrend, we're kind of holding it. The issue with ETH is that this gap is not that big, right? We already tagged it a couple times. ETH BTC was not looking bad. It's looking pretty bad today. I guess, yeah, ETH is down. ETH is down while Bitcoin's been ripping. But ETH BTC is something that's been catching my eyes and thinking that, hey, if we can get a push, ETH can probably take out this high, right? ETH could probably take out the 3,400 highs. Not looking too good today. It's still something that's going to be kind of interest to me, and I will be watching closely, right? Because the idea is I'm a Bitcoin trader. There's going to be very few times that I'm going to get signals on other coins. That's probably going to outperform Bitcoin. So if I just take my same exact trade elsewhere, like what's the right word? Just lateral, not collateral. Lateralize that trade to another asset that could outperform, that's sitting in a good context where the pair chart against BTC looks pretty good. Those trades look good. I think Sol also, this is something that I talked about on the feed. This is also the gap that's been available. There's been a lot of effort coming in on Solana to fill that gap. It's not too much higher. Right, so the gap is like 140, no, a little bit higher, 149, right? Same exact idea, right? You hold under the daily trend, you get your compression up, tag it from the top side, and you're kind of pushing upwards. It's only a couple dollars away. Sol look good also, yep. Sol looking great on the 4 hour. Let's open up the 4 hour. Not the best, not the worst. I wouldn't love this as saying I'm gonna trade this on the 4 hour. I would assume before I even scroll left that the 1 hour is going to look a lot better. Okay, maybe I was wrong. It's cleaner than the 4, but there you're getting some shakeouts, right? Here's your false breakdown. There's your real breakdown. I think in general, most coins that I've noticed have been trading better on the 1 hour than the 4 hour over the past several months. Yeah. So Bitcoin had a really good hourly uptrend. ETH had a really good hourly uptrend. Solana is not bad, not as good as ETH and BTC. Let's take a look at ZEC. I'm still curious about this one. I took one trade on ZEC. Here, I think back in November. Was it here? One of these lows, I took like a long. Was like a 20% ripper over the weekend. I still kind of believe that ZEC is going to put in a distribution like this before breaking down. I don't know if the high that it just set is the complacency shoulder already in. I would assume this is still going to crab around for multiple months before it breaks down. I still think something like this is in the cards for ZEC. Just going to scroll down. I believe we talked about PEPE last week. On the live stream, I believe that I mentioned something to you guys about how PEPE puts in its full move in one rally, and then that's kind of it. It just kind of distributes and crabs around, right? You guys can look at earlier this year in May, Gigapump, that's it, just distribution, right? You can look at the November pump, distribution, right? This is probably the only one of the entire cycle. I'm going to go over to Bitcoin in a second. It's probably the only one of the entire cycle where you kind of got a two-legged move. What did I set an alert for? Daily VWAP. I was talking to the homies in Paragon this morning during the Outlook and saying, yeah, I'll just tell you guys too, I don't really care. What this looked like to me is just kind of this thing all over again, right? So crab, Bart, crab, Bart, crab, Bart, crab, Bart. Basically, you're just shaking out all the positioning while you're trying to set a higher low, right? And when people stop trying to long this is when Bitcoin's going to put in a higher move, right? So this is the base case expectation today. I didn't expect price to go this high, to be honest. When I woke up this morning and looked at price, my plan was simply, long a weekend low sweep, right? This is your weekend low. Long the weekend low sweep. Get the reversion up to the highs. I TP'd kind of right here. This thing went way, way higher. It's back to where I TP'd essentially a couple hours later, but I could have TP'd much higher. I didn't expect us to rip all the way to these highs once again. Looking at flows, I believe a couple hours ago, Hyperliquid was just being kind of retarded. There's an R word on the public stream, great. I'm pretty sure Hyperliquid, Coinbase Spot too. I remember seeing Coinbase Spot in the flows. It was really strong, but Hyperliquid is being pretty aggressive. Or am I wrong? Let me go back and look. No, it was mainly Coinbase. Although someone just did get destroyed on Hyperliquid. Holy. Someone got absolutely shit on Hyperliquid just now. Oh, that's interesting. I've been going on 4-hour MOSA. I start looking at 1 hour more. Thank you. Yeah, I think... So here's the game theory thing. Anytime something gets super popularized, guys, that's when it starts entering edge decay a little bit. I think Pierre, Dentoshi, Mercury's just a different EMA, so we can't throw them in the conversation. Myself, probably a few other people really popularized the H4 trend this cycle. Like, obviously, I'm going to give Pierre the most props because that's who I learned it from, right? But there's several traders that had the 4-hour trend on their chart. And I think that was kind of the end of the 4-hour trend, right? Since then, I feel like there's maybe a couple times a year you get banger 4-hour trend trades, but you don't really get them that much anymore. Bitcoin dumping, no bueno, we're rejecting here twice, 89.1 or 88.1 for the CME gap. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I still think price is contained here now. I think same plan that I had this morning and over the weekend. Like, I longed here over the weekend looking for a Sunday push, round tripped a good amount of this because I thought we would get the classic like Sunday, Monday wombo. I was long from like 90.4 and then had to close on the daily VWAP loss yesterday. Like just trailed out the rest of my position here. Basically out right here. Wasn't much of a trade, but it was something. Didn't catch much of this. It was, again, daily VWAP reclaim right around the weekly open. This is like a prayer. TP'd right when I was going to sleep. Missed the top of this. I've been missing, and this is kind of a here. Let me give you guys a little bit of an insight into how my trading's going. I have been missing a lot of tops, a lot over the past 2-3 weeks. So I started trading again Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I have missed a lot of these tops. All these big pumps that you guys are seeing, I've sold into them without TPing the top. There's very few where I'm actually catching the top. But guess what? Guess what that's doing? All these little mini pumps you guys are seeing that don't rip to the tops, I'm TPing those, right? All the ones that people are, getting reverted on and fully round tripping and everything like that, I'm catching all of those. Right? It's just I'm trading based on the environment that I'm given, right? So there's gonna be some times where it's gonna rip past my TPs, and there's gonna be other times where things look pretty good, right? So I'm just kind of taking the high EV bet again and again and again. And I think my account over the last 2 weeks since Christmas is up 33% or 33R, however you guys like to think about it. While Bitcoin is up. How much is Bitcoin up? It's Christmas. I don't know what point to put it on. Let's just take the middle of it. Bitcoin is up 4%. My account is up 33%. And I've just been trading Bitcoin. I have not been trading altcoins. Bitcoin dumping. Okay, we saw that. Short printing right now. Nice, Nelly. Good shit. Good shit. Coinbase was aggressive and hyper liquid created the top. Let me go through this. Yeah, I see the Coinbase aggression. I was looking at that earlier when I was like, damn, my TP too soon. I didn't expect Coinbase to just continue ripping like that. They kind of started their TWAP, their TWAP right when I was TPing, right? So it was a little unfortunate for me. The interesting part about the flows this morning, it looked like a lot of like limit bid filling getting like limit chasers rather than aggressive like TWAPing. Because a lot of people were selling into this too. Like Binance Spot was selling into the majority of the pump. So let's go over here. Binance was selling into this. Bybit was selling into this. And Bitfinex was selling into some of this. But Coinbase has really positive delta for the entire like session or this entire move right here, right? There was still heavy supply coming in, and I think if we go over to MMT, I think we ran into some heavy Ascaroonies. Also, one more thing I want to see. Someone got limit filled on a Chad short somewhere here. Where was that guy short at? $91.5. Someone got filled on a Chad short right here. I don't even see it in open interest, but that guy blew right through that ask. I don't see him in here. Did you manage to check out my spot flows template on MMT yet? Wasn't it just the CVD chart? You posted, let me check it out right now. You posted it somewhere and I looked at it and I was like, I don't think I need this at all. That's not to be like rude or anything like that. It's just, my mistake if it came off rude. Where'd you post it? I saw your comment somewhere. Where did I see it? Okay, I found it. You want a gander and MMT have a decent split view, order book imbalance with Delta for Binance and Coinbase template and the community templates. I use it for spot flows. Put a screenshot on earlier in my profile. Let me go see. Yeah, I mean, my templates look pretty much the same. I have mine split. So like I used to use. Yeah. I just found yours. Don't worry, Darren. I remember seeing your comment. Then I saw your name. It kind of clicked. Yeah, I had my Kiyotaka template set up the same way between spot and perps. I found immense more value just looking at spot depths. Perp depths did not give me that great of a hit rate over a long time frame, so I stopped using perp depths completely and just focusing on spot. I still pay attention to like fresh perp bids and asks as they come through on my footprint side, but I don't really care about the depths anymore. Spot depths matter to me, perp depths don't. I'm still new to recognizing TWAP on Delta. Can you point it out earlier today? So what you're basically saying when you're looking at a TWAP or a TWAP or anything like that, it's just going to be slow, steady, controlled, same kind of volume buying over a long period of time, right? So what would a delta histogram look like? Like, look at this. Just imagine this volume that I have here is your delta histogram, right? This is just an average day, right? You could just assume this is your aggregate chart, right? And this is Coinbase, for example, right? We can make it any exchange. This is Coinbase, right? We're just whatever. There's some Coinbase buyers and there's some sellers, and then a big wave of buying and then some selling and then some buying, right? You would just say, okay, there's some big outflows here. There's some whatever, some steady, buying. What a TWAP looks like or TWAP looks like, you're going to see orderly, same size, same volume, steady, directional buying over a long horizon, long period of time. They're just going to buy like this for 30 minutes, 1 hour, half an hour, six hours, something like that. You're just going to see the same intensity again and again and again. Yes, there will be other people in the books. It's not going to just be the one person. You're going to probably see some big sells and some big buys and some big sells and some big buys, whatever. But generally, you're just seeing slow, steady buying of the same volume and kind of frequency over an extended period of time, right? That's what we just lazily call TWAP. Actual TWAP is literally you're putting an order into your execution terminal saying, hey, I want to buy 100 Bitcoin over 8 hours, and it splits your 100 Bitcoin into smaller orders that execute via market order. So you're basically taking liquidity from the market, and you're going to show up as an aggressive buyer and over an extended period of time, right? Trying to be a proper order flow, Chad. Yeah, if you're trying, so what I would say in the beginning, yeah, sure, go mess with every tooling, but in order to actually use it effectively, you're going to want to keep it very compact, right? Have your whatever you're going to use, price action, 1 minute charts, VWAPs, whatever tooling you're going to use for actual price, have some volume tooling, open interest tooling, and then kind of minimal after that. The more tooling you bombard yourself with, the more confused you're going to be, right? You want to keep it as simple as possible. You can always add stuff later, but starting with too much is not the right way to get to where you want to be. Have you looked at Pump yet? It provided a good entry on the 4-hour 200 EMA reclaim. I can look at it. Oh, it's up big today, huh? Okay, so I would just say that this is a big range at this moment, right? The optimistic view here, you've trended, you're consolidating, you're going to break out of the consolidation, set higher value here, and get a continuation, right? That would be your optimistic approach. The way to kind of define this range higher, breaking out of value, you can just drop fixed range volume profile here. right? You can say, okay, we're significantly outside of value. If we're really bullish in this location, we're not going to come back and trade back in this location. We also have hourly expansion candles, so a lot of volume and delta was done here, i.e. effort to break you out of your value. So when a lot of effort is done directionally, you want that effort to be defended. You basically can lazily say, hey, this is where that effort came in. This is the origin of that effort. If price is really bullish, it's not going to retrace to that origin of that effort. You're lucky here, and you kind of say, hey, that's synonymous with your composite value area high. We don't really want to retrace that. So what we would like to do is see price range in this area and find new bidders for a higher low. If price starts retracing and trading back in here, it's not as bullish as you would think. You can't really make a trending argument. You just continue to say, hey, we're still confined to this consolidation. Make sense? Did we get enough of a shakeout here? Not really. So prepare for this again, guys. Just expect this again tomorrow, probably the next day, maybe, right? Which would just be another kind of build up somewhere sideways, whether it has to come all the way down here or we do it a little bit higher or we run this low. Just another probably dead moment followed by initiation again, right? A couple more of these. I think it's a couple more shakeouts and then we'll get the expansion trade, right? Because it just feels to me over the past 6 weeks, not 6 weeks, call it 3 weeks, right? Over the past 3 weeks, it just seems to me like Bitcoin wants to go up. It feels like we've run out of, we basically run out of sellers, but what we're also lacking at this moment is consistent buyers, right? So we're getting bouts of aggression where no one wants to lead the continuation charge, right? Sellers only want to sell higher, buyers only want to buy lower. No one really wants to play continuation, right? So if people are willing and comfortable, just like 2IQ right here, if people are willing and comfortable buy here, when price comes back, they're not wanting to defend this. They're kind of just like, yeah, just barred it all the way back down and I'll buy down here again, right? But at the same thing, like you could take, like people are taking this very bearishly, right? People are saying, oh, we can't hold on to a pump. We can't hold on to a pump. We can't hold on to a pump. I think what you can look at is the opposite thing and say, well, why can't bears break us out? They've consolidated here forever. There's 8 weeks of consolidation, right? If we just flip the entire chart upside down and we looked at this on a daily, right? And this is BTC, and we've done this all cycle. Pretty much whenever Bitcoin has a very strong trending move and kind of goes sideways like this, you're going to get a very big shakeout towards the lows if you're going to continue back upwards, or that's kind of like a turbo top. So let me prove this to you. So anytime Bitcoin starts looking heavy and distributive like this, right, where we're not able to break out, it gives you a very big shakeout before continuing upwards, right? You can do it again. Long consolidation right here, unable to break out, gives you a big shakeout before it continues upwards. What about summer right here? Same exact thing. It's like you can't break out. You get a very big shakeout before you continue upwards, right? So if your kind of base case expectation is like, hey, we're going to continue downwards, or in this case upwards, give us a big shakeout first, and then we can maybe continue upwards. That's what I would be thinking. I would kind of look at this and say, okay, well, why are bulls not strong? Why do they keep running into supply? Why do they keep running into supply? Why can't they break us out? Right? You could just flip the script. So it's people's bias speaking when they say, oh my God, Bitcoin's so weak it can't hold on to a pump. You could just flip the chart upside down. You could say the exact same thing the opposite direction. Right? It's just your bias talking. If you're bullish, you kind of feel bad and you go, oh my God, it can't hold on to a pump. If you're bearish, you're like, dude, why can't we just sell off already? Why does it keep crabbing at the lows? Why don't we get a nuke through these lows, right? The fuck is wrong with Bitcoin? Where are the sellers? But it's just a range bound price action. All right, one sec. So a big shakeout would be down to close the CME gap lower. Big shakeout would typically move. So, okay, yeah. What I was trying to say, a big shakeout, because I had the chart inverted, right? So what I'm trying to say is a big shakeout would be like down here, like below this low or something like that, or tagging the weekly trend. I would think that would be a bigger shakeout. It wouldn't even be that big, because on like, yeah, it'd be like 20%, right? It'd be like a 20% correction within a high time frame trending move, which is when we were in a bull market, that was pretty much what we were getting, right? So for a lot of our uptrend, a lot of these pullbacks were like 20, 25% at most. See, this is 22. I believe this is like 20. That's 20. I think this is also 20, 22, right? What's this? 20, right? A lot of these were 20. There are some 30s in there, but a lot of them were 20, right? So you could kind of make the exact same case in reverse right here and say, hey, basically, if we're trying to get higher, a 20% correction makes sense. Something like this. Something like this. Maybe one more stab lower, 96. If we're really, really feeling it, we'll push it higher, maybe to 99, maybe to 100, maybe to 102, who knows, but I think at the very least, we're going to tag the weekly, right? So that's kind of what I was saying is a big shakeout. And that shakeout is like for the bears, right? That's your bearish shakeout. Maybe you get some bears to reconsider their positioning. Maybe you get some bulls to get very bullish at the top. That you kind of just flip the sentiment on its head completely. Been a while since I watched one of your streams. I just want to say, the way you're able to clearly explain these trading concepts is greatly appreciated. You're excellent educator. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you. What's your TM? What's that mean? Time? CPI and PPI this week, so tons of vol guaranteed. Oh, that's good to know. What is CPI? Thursday? PPI Friday? What's your TM for the next move? Okay, sorry. Maybe you're saying time frame. That's hard to predict, man. Like, is it gonna be a day? Is it gonna be 2 days? Is it gonna be a week or 2 weeks? It's so hard to predict, right? I don't think I can give you an answer to that question because I don't know, right? Like, trying to predict and execute are two completely different things. It's a completely different animal, right? When we're trading in this chop right here, right? Sometime when I came back from vacation, I was looking at this, and my kind of experience or discretion says, hey, I've traded this before. I know when volatility completely dies off at the end of a trending move, it's probably going to set up for a BART or reversal. So when I'm looking at this right now, I'm even in the Discord, I'm drawing the Bart Simpson meme in the Discord with his head like right here, looking to BART back up. How many stabs did it take before we actually got it? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 5 stabs before it eventually gave us that BART move. So I can't predict, you know, is it going to be today, tomorrow, 3 weeks? It's too hard for me. Monero at all-time highs. How and would you trade that now? If it's at all-time highs, it's likely been trending. So you just find the most dominant trend on the chart, and you defend the trend that the chart is telling you. It's probably screaming at you and saying, this is the trend to defend. This is the trend to defend. Is this the cleanest daily trend of all time? I would say no. Maybe I can look at VWAPs and maybe there's something cleaner there. Where's XMR? I don't have it on here. Is this going to load? Thank you. Okay, we've got 2 ideas. Well, this is a whole weekend move, huh? This thing ripped on the weekend. I feel like I get asked about XMR a lot on these public streams. Does it have a propensity to be ripper on a weekend? I feel like it's been doing that a lot on weekends, no? Oh, it has. Look, there's a weekend. There's a weekend. This is a weekend. Oh, I guess it also dumps on, you know, off days. This is a ripper on the weekend. This is a high set on the weekend. This is a high set on the weekend. This is a high set on the weekend. So most of the volatility in XMR is coming on weekends, huh? Or pivots. Big pivots are coming on weekends. I don't see anything that clean other than the daily trend on here, right? So maybe we can use the prior all-time high level. Let's see where that's at. And then we would use like the hourly trend. And we would say, maybe we can get a confluence of the two ideas. Where'd that go? One moment. Hourly, okay, so we have it here. Okay, it's all the way down here. Gotcha. So whenever I talk about breakouts and continuations, right, I never want to retest to this level, right? So there's your all-time high level at 518. The fact that it came way above, we smashed clearly through the all-time high level. You're putting in a consolidation here. You already got a nice comp forming. You got a sweep of a low into the hourly trend. This would have been, obviously, this is like, it's so hard for me to do this because when you look at this, right, obviously I know the answers, right? I know I'm seeing the sweep, and it's like, guys, obviously in hindsight, you just want to long the sweep. But ultimately, that's what you want to do, right? You're looking for anything that's contained within the range to give you a very strong expansionary move, as we talked about using the Bitcoin composites earlier, form a shallower range, right? And then you look to buy at the discount of that range. The confluence here is nice because you probably have the hourly trend, right? You have the hourly trend that's being pretty solid. So you're now two-pronged approach and saying, we want to defend the hourly. If this is going to be the breakout, we use the same kind of concept of saying, look, if that's the breakout, we really want to extend above, have a shallow dip, continue upwards, and maybe form a new comp here as the hourly trend catches up, right? If that's going to fail and we drop back in, we look to bid somewhere at the hourly trend. That would be the two-pronged approaches, right? So plan A, long there. Plan B, it pushes up. It forms a new little comp right here. You're going to have to go to a lower time frame. Maybe it sits here long enough for the hourly to catch up. If that's the case, you got the two-pronged approach again. That's plan B. Can you check Litecoin? A bunch of CT dogs are dumping millions into here, and I don't know why. What do they see? Okay, so can I say one thing first? There's people that I follow that have been bull posting Litecoin the entire cycle. On and off. Like, I'm not saying they're bull posting it every day, but they have been bull posting Litecoin for 3 years now, right? That's just one of their coins, right? It's just a coin that they like. It's like me posting a PEPE chart. If I posted a PEPE chart 6 months from now, you would understand why. I'd be like, oh yeah, Doc traded the fuck out of PEPE from 2023 to 2024 into 2025. So he's probably somewhat biased to like that coin. Maybe he'll trade that one more. It could be the case for other people that just like, they genuinely like the coin because they made a lot of money on it once upon a time. So they always come back to it, right? So I'm just saying that just through some experience. So let's look at Litecoin. If there's anything bullish here, anything going on, I see nothing. I see literally nothing. I see nothing. USDT Dominance, monthly FEG below, so makes sense. Okay, let's look at this. I always get curious about these odd things once in a while. Well, this didn't work out. I don't know what this was. Is this the last time I looked at USDT Dominance? The merge? Okay, so now I have to rack my brain about how this chart works. So USD Dominance is going to go up technically when people are scared because they move their money from coins to dollars. So technically up is bearish, but it needs to be offset by the amount of money that's moving from fiat into crypto rails. So it's not that easy to read because if you onboard into crypto, you're effectively bumping up USDT Dominance or USDC or whatever, right? So there's a give and take there. But if we're just going to loosely say up is bearish and down is bullish, this would make more sense to look at, right? We would want to look at it like this and say, okay, where can this bottom at? And you're saying monthly FVG, so you're saying this one. Got it. So now I know what you're talking about. Tomorrow and Wednesday, CPI tomorrow, CPI Tuesday, got it. Wednesday, PPI, got it. FARTCOIN is being such a tease and refusing to clean up its lows. Oh, someone asked me about a FARTCOIN short the other day. And obviously I'm not trading FARTCOIN or anything like that, but he asked me to look at FARTCOIN. And I remember seeing just such a banger confluence. Maybe I'll share it with you guys just for educational sake anyways. FARTCOIN has a really strong swing high, right? Obviously right here. What's the most obvious swing high on the entire chart that you guys can see within this range? It's literally this one, right? When did this sweep come? January 6th at 3 p.m. Tuesday, January 6th at 3 p.m. Could you have gotten this trigger either on FARTCOIN itself? What confluence could you have, right? So since I just trade Bitcoin, all I did was look at, what time did we say? I already forgot. 3 p.m. January 6th. And you just look at what is Bitcoin doing at 3 p.m. on January 6th. That's this high right here. So Bitcoin has a strong hourly trend off the yearly open. It loses its hourly trend. That is the end of the trending environment, and you're pushing back up, right? So what did we say? 3 p.m. One of these candles, right? So as Bitcoin's pushing back up in a lower high, what is FARTCOIN doing? It's sweeping liquidity. So FARTCOIN's giving you a bearish trigger, while Bitcoin is literally giving you a structural and trending bearish trigger. So you have confluence there. If you're too scared to take the FARTCOIN short on its own, you just look at Bitcoin. You say, okay, well, Bitcoin is done with its 8-day or 8% trending move, however many days this was. It's 8% though, I believe, that it went up. Yeah. 8% over 4 days. It's done with that trending move. It's probably going to reset. It's probably going to consolidate. Meanwhile, FARTCOIN is ripped from range low all the way to range high, and Bitcoin's putting in this complacency. Boom. What'd you ask? Such a tease and refusing to clean up its lows. These right here. Yeah, maybe you get it. Don't worry about it. Do this. Hit alert. Go look at something else. Nice one, Doc. Got some good plays today. Nice. Love to hear that, man. Love to hear that. So yeah, as I was saying maybe 20 minutes ago or something, it's like when my stream gets 200 viewers, when it was getting 200 viewers, like when the market was hot, 150, 200, whatever it is, for some reason, some parts of me wants to share a lot less. Like I don't want to share stuff with the team, but when it's like a tight-knit group of 80 people that are showing up when markets are shit and when we're down 30% and when markets have been crabbing for 8 weeks and people are pissed and my CT feed is Grok put me in a bikini and this Nikita guy, I don't know who that really even is or what his job title is. That's my whole feed and that's what they're discussing, but there's still 80 of you guys that want to come chill with me. I feel like y'all deserve a little bit more. So that's why I try to help out a little bit more on these days. So in the future, when there's 100 to 200 people and people ask me stuff and you hear me kind of skirting around questions, you'll have like that's like the secret handshake between me and you. You'll remember, hey, I know why Doc doesn't want to answer your question. Let's take a look at some other stuff. So Hyperliquid, right? Everyone's darling, everyone's baby. I felt like this is a very significant low, right? And I feel like if anything is going to start some kind of chop solidation on Hyperliquid, it would have been this low. I believe we talked about this either early January or late December. I can't remember if I talked about it on the public stream or if it was a Paragon stream or what, but that felt to me like it's the start of a little bit of a chop solidation. So if I'm correct in that thesis, what Hyperliquid's going to do, I would probably just remove all these other lines. What Hyperliquid is likely to do is start ranging between these two levels for a little bit, right? And what you want to see, because you already have one daily close above here, what you want to see is price pushing into the trend more than the trend pushing price down. So what would be bullish is if you keep holding support as support and you keep bouncing into the daily trend, right? Even if volatility compresses, it doesn't matter. What would be bearish is every time you tag this thing, you keep setting a lower low, right? That's just telling you you're still in a trending environment. You don't want to bet on that. Then Doc is wrong. That's not a significant low. It's going to continue bleeding out. But if it's going to round out, it's going to do it here, and you're going to keep threatening to break the daily. And when you do, you'll get a pop. And then my bias will become the same thing it always is, which is a weekly trend tag, which will end up likely being just a kind of run of this high, right? So whenever that happens, you could just kind of draw it out like this: compression, 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 maybe a compression pop, daily to weekly tag, you're running this high, and then hopefully for hyperliquid bears, you continue going sideways. If Bitcoin wants to leg down, then this is going to leg down too. CC reclaimed H4 trend, good bounce on daily, might be a good pick for alts. Dude, you've been shilling this coin for a few weeks now, I think. So I think I looked at it one time. I swear I looked like you shilled it to me down here, I think. Did you not? Did you not like shill it to me down here somewhere? Oh no, we've covered this way more recently. This is clean. I already have the range drawn out. We talked about trend loss. I'm sure I talked about the gap fill. I'm sure I talked about this range low. So I hope you nailed that, Nelly. This is clean, dude. Clean trend, gap fill, range high, range low confluence with the gap fill. You got the pop above the 4 hour and you got the reset to the 4 hour. That's fucking clean, dude. GG's. Hope you're printing. I did. Yeah. That's why I know this name. You got to remember, man. I do a good time. I do a good job remembering some people's coins and some trades, but some I completely forget because I get shilled so many. You did say all of those things, and I'm trading the shit out of it. Lear, clip it. Where's Lear at? Lear, clip it. Farm me some clout for trades I didn't take. Have you covered XPL? Okay, so I hear you. So we talked about this, I think, somewhat recently, and we're basically saying there's a big character shift in XPL, being as that it was in a 12-hour downtrend basically since inception, right? Look at this 12-hour trend. Let me put it on log. You'll see it. Look at this 12-hour trend, right? Breaking the 12-hour trend, to me, signifies the end of a trending environment and the start of a range-bound environment, right? So what you're optimistically saying, the kind of same approach that I gave you on Hyperliquid, we'll just do it like this. We'll say that's your swing high. That's your swing low. I don't know why these are in different colors automatically. We'll make a range mid. Now you have a premium, you have a discount. You want to be bullish at the discount, you want to be bearish at the premium, and you want to look for POIs in between. That's it. That's the way that you want to fundamentally trade XPL for a bit. I think this, I'll probably have to read up or re-talk to some of my smarter friends if this is still a good fundamental play, because this is the classic example of a lot of people being very bullish on a coin day one and then radio silence, right? So if this is still a good play, if this is still a good coin, if nothing changed and all that changed was price, right? And price rules sentiment, right? Price rules sentiment, right? So now it's the worst coin in the world and it was always going to zero, and up here it's the future of finance and trillions and everything like that. If it's still good, then this is potentially a multi-bagger, even if it doesn't go to all-time highs, right? Accumulation range, you buy at the lows and you just look for a pop here. That is a 1, 2, 3x type of play, even for just something like this. The thing that's going to have to happen, though, it's going to need time. Like, you probably want to look for that play somewhere over here. We'll leave this doodle here. We'll check up on it in 6 months. ARK got the best looking chart on one day. Very nice EMA altcoin. Dude, you said ARK and my brain thought of ARK Raiders. Is this coin going up because ARC Raiders and crypto degens are just looking at this to play ARC? No, this can't be the chart. This cannot be the chart you're shilling me. Is it? While I wait for you, I'm going to look at what's going on here. Big bounce, big bounce, big bounce. Probably going to wait till tomorrow to trade Bitcoin again. Dude, my entry this morning was literally here. Literally, this was my entry. Just one bang, full clip, full confidence, New York Open puke. I didn't think this was going much higher than here. I was TPing into the Ripper, point of breakdown, and then final TP at the sweep. Oh. It's funny how many trades I have under my belt and how many years I have under my belt, and still how it can annoy me for, you know, a couple hours and be like, oh, I left this much money on the table. Thing is, I think with experience, what'll separate you from another average trader is like an average trader will immediately want to correct it and be like, let me take another trade. Let me get back into my long. Let me take a trade that I didn't plan when I woke up this morning. So I woke up this morning, I planned a trade, I executed on that trade, and because of the sequence or the outcome of that trade, I'm feeling a certain way, whether it's good or bad. And that good or bad feeling is allowing me to take a second trade, which I did not plan, right? And that's what a lot of like rookie traders make the mistake on is yeah, maybe they'll be up on this and they might take another trade and give it back, right? Because you didn't plan this. You're trying to do everything out, you know, on the fly. And of course, with experience, you'll be able to take trades on the fly and everything like that. But a lot of people will get into another 2 or 3 or 4 trades and end up giving some profit back, or, you know, doing something they're not supposed to do and chop themselves up. Because, you know, people think of chopping themselves up in this price action. Actually, people chop themselves up more in this type of price action because they're taking trades they didn't want to trade, right? It used to happen to me a lot. I actually chopped myself up a lot learning the trend trading system. Why? Let me see if I can find a trend to explain that to you guys. Well, we'll take the yearly open one, right? So based on a trend-based system, I didn't know exactly how to place my stops, how to invalidate my trades, and because it's a trend-based system, maybe I'll start skimming some profits at the highs. I'll say, oh, there's an RSI div or this random horizontal level, so I'll TP in that level, and then I see prices just holding, and I'll be like, no, let me get back into the trade. Actually, it went lower. Oh, let me change my sizing. Let me risk my profits from my last trade, right? All of these things you don't plan end up like basically coming back to haunt you, and then you look at the top of it, and you may have fumbled a couple trades in here. And by the time, you get to the third tag, fourth tag, fifth tag, you say, okay, I understand how this trades now. I'm going to make back what I lost, and I'm just going to size up a little bit. I'm up on the week anyway, so let me just risk my week's profits on this next trade. And then you get stopped out on that trade. And you look back and you're like, damn, I actually just chopped the shit out of myself when all I had to do was buy once and hold and sell trend break, right? So you don't necessarily just chop yourself up in choppy price action. A lot of people chop themselves up in trending price action. In fact, I think a lot of people have chopped themselves up this cycle and fumbled a lot of rippers over managing positions that move directionally as well. So there's multiple ways to chop yourselves up. I don't believe ARC Raiders will take this anywhere. It's a total scam. Do you play Arena Breakout? I don't play Arena Breakout. Are we still talking about the ARC coin? That was just a joke that I made. I wasn't serious about that. I don't know what the ARC coin was, because I'm certain the homie in chat that said this is the best looking chart in crypto was not talking about this chart. Like, I'm certain you're not talking about this chart. This is the worst chart in crypto, unless you were just being sarcastic, and I just can't read that through text chat. Thoughts on GLXY? As far as I know, I have a few friends that have been all over this for a while, and it's been doing really, really well. Hey, Cookbook Sauce on Twitter. Follow Cookbook Sauce, boys. I think this had a really good weekly trend, which is not on the chart for some reason. Where the hell is my weekly trend? What the? Okay, old-fashioned way. All right, now we have to figure out if you're getting another one of these shakeouts or that is your trend cooked. I'm more inclined to say that is your trend cooked, simply because the amount of time we're spending here versus the V-shaped recovery, the reclaim, the retest, the send. I think it's wiser to play this now as a local range, right? So it still makes sense to be bullish at these lows, with your invalidation being expansion candle below the lows. But it probably, as far as trade expectancy goes, would be smarter, even if you're bullish here, to TP into a lower high versus a higher high expectations. ARC USDT.P, that's the good looking one. Okay, I'm actually curious, so I want to look at this. Okay, that's not the same coin. Okay, I disagree with you. This is the best looking chart in crypto because the coin that CC showed me, I think, looks way better, right? Yeah, this looks better. I don't know what the best looking chart in crypto is right now. There's probably none. Oh, probably Monero because it's at all-time highs, right? So there you go. That's your best looking chart in crypto. I think if you're going to trade this, you just trade it off the H1. So we talked about earlier, sweeps into H1s are not bad triggers. You start getting expansions below this, that's your H1 trend dead, and you expect that the price action that carried you along this H1 trend is now dead. In order of expectations, what you're looking at when the most dominant trend for a rally is broken, number one is range. So we're just going to draw a sideways arrow, right? Right. Number two is reversal. So since it's an uptrend, we're drawing a down arrow. And the lowest, least likely to occur if the trend is lost is reclaim and continuation. So we'll draw an upwards arrow. Do you own any Monero? Nope, I'm a Bitcoiner. I don't want Monero. Want a funny on-chain one to look at? Troll. Maybe I'll pull up Maybe I'll pull up on chain in a minute. How many trades do you take daily? I don't know. Some days I'll be in a scalper mindset and I'll trade like 10 times, and some days it's 1 time, and sometimes it's 0, and sometimes it's 3. I don't know what my average trades per day are. Maybe I can tell you how many trades I've taken since December. Maybe that'll help you. So I got back, get flashbanged. I can actually count how many trades I've taken. So what is this? How many days is this? 18 days. I'm going to pull up my variational count. I think I've only taken 3 on Bybit. So how many executions have I done on here in the past month? Give me a second. Just opening my laptop. We'll re-chat while it loads. That or slightly more seriously, dupe with the Google and Shopify UCP launch. Okay, I'll look, Jingo. I'll look. Maybe I'll look after the stream in the clinic. Can you check pump? We did pump. Did we do pump? We didn't do pump. Okay, this loaded. Let me do a count real quick of how many trades I've taken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 and 3, I believe, on Bybit, so 21. So I'm averaging like 1 trade a day, but I don't trade every single day. Like, I'm not trading Saturdays most of the time. I probably didn't trade like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, you know, so whatever. A little bit more than 1 a day for the past 2 weeks. Tennis Tangent, you see Bublik win another tournament the other day? Yeah, dude, I root for Bublik. Seems like such a good dude. Also super fun to watch. We don't have enough of the entertainers in tennis. We're so lucky to have Alcaraz as like the ultimate entertainer, as the #1 player in the world. Ban my comment. I didn't ban your comment. What was your comment? What was your comment? I don't believe ARC Raiders will take this anywhere. It's a total scam. I didn't ban that. All right, I'll look at Pump. Chat, everyone go buy Met. All right, let's look at Pump. Oh, we did look at Pump. We talked about Pump. I gave you guys the doodle and everything. If this is going to be bullish, it's not going to drop back below here. It's going to form a local comp. If we run the lows probably at 25, you want to see that held. You really don't want to see this come back below like the composite value rate high at this point. You want to see it form a little bit of a comp here and continue pushing upwards. The next TP would just be the next swing high. So the idea for you on this trade is literally something like this. Maybe something like this, maybe a second one where you run this low. That's your TP. I got to root for the one-handed backhanders, too few left. Yeah, Dimitrov, Musetti. Any other in like the top 50? Who's that big serving dude? I forget his name. He's got a one-hander. I forget his name completely. Yo, look at Avicii again. Okay, man. What are all these coins you're shilling me? Avicii, Met, 2 other ones. Just tag me in the clinic. We'll do it afterwards. Bitcoin only, right? No exceptions. Let me see if I'll just check variational if I've traded anything other than Bitcoin on that account. I have not traded anything other than Bitcoin. I'm pretty boring with my trading nowadays, guys. I've been around the block a little bit. I've kind of done a lot of things in the market. I've traded a few different systems. I've traded different time frames. I've traded different strategies for a long time. A majority of the cycle, I considered myself a positional trader, and what that meant is I'm basically trading the high time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, 1 week, and I'm looking for strong, high conviction, large size spot pickups that I'm looking to buy in accumulation ranges and sell on trend losses. That was a core strategy of mine for a long time, right? I started off in the market as purely a trader. I became a positional trader, and then I went back to pure trading. I went back to pure trading kind of to open up 2025 when I basically was like, yeah, I don't have any more conviction in alts, and all of the theses that I had on the altcoins came to fruition, and that's it. Thesis completion, Solana, PEPE, whatever other bags that I had. I'm chilling. So I just went back to trading full time. And when I was trading before, like pre-2025, it was all altcoins. It was almost like no Bitcoin trades. Like maybe I take like 2 Bitcoin trades or 3 Bitcoin trades a quarter, right? Maybe 10, 15 on the year, right? Maybe 1 a month, something like that. And then last year and this year, it's been all Bitcoin. There are days where I trade a lot. Like hold on, let me find this one day. My cleanest performance trading day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I probably the highest or the most Bitcoin trades I've taken in a day is like 7. Bublik is the serve guy. Yeah. Bublik is a big serve, but he's not the serve bot that I'm thinking of. There's a dude that I'm thinking of. I can't remember his name right now. Oh, Pericard. Mapeshi something Pericard. I actually forget how to say his name. Something like that. That dude's a serve bot. I'm pretty sure he's a one-handed backhand. He's probably top 50, top 100. So those are the 3 one-handers I can think of in the top 100. Grigor Dimitrov, Lorenzo Massetti, and Mapeshi Pericard. Oh, there you go. You said it in chat. Jingo. Pesci Pericard. There you go. Check my BCH level, bro. What's your BCH level, man? Oh, did you post a link in chat? It probably just got auto-removed. Is that what you were talking about? Ban my comment? That's probably what you mean. I don't think you can post links in chat, dude. I think it just like gets auto-banned. What happened to Lit? Good question. I don't know. I've never traded Lit. Y'all asked me my opinion on Lit, and I couldn't be more wrong, right? So what I said, someone asked me on Lit, and I was like, the smartest thing to do is just buy launches of brand new coins when you're in a like bullish environment, right? I think I'm pretty sure I gave you that caveat is like for the majority of the bull market, when something was super hyped, I would just buy the launch day. Like I did that very successfully. The most successful one that I ever had doing that was Ondo. I literally bought day 1 of Ondo. It's not even here on the price chart because I'm pretty sure this is the Binance Perps chart, and it got listed on Bybit, and it didn't even have a trading view chart when it was listed, and I bought it at 8 cents. I bought it at 8 cents. And this is my most successful day 1 purchase coin ever, right? So that was like, there was a time and place for it. But Lit, I don't think that worked out. If you did that, I think you got like nuked, right? Am I wrong? Where's Lit? Okay, yeah. So it had its one-day pump. So basically, the idea of buying the day 1 on a new listing coin is you could use like XPL, for example, right? That's the most recent one that I did that on. So I bought XPL on launch. And the expectation is even when the coin is terrible, even when it's dog shit, even when it's the worst coin ever, it's still probably going to pump, right? Given the narrative and everything, because all eyes will be on it. All liquidity will be on it. It's a new name. It's a new coin and everything like that. Whether or not there's airdrops or not, it'll still pump for a little bit, right? And then you just sell the trend loss and you don't look back. What's another good example of like a really bad coin that I did this on? It's probably Dimension. Dimension's another coin where I bought day 1 and I did really well for like a day or two, and then it just went to 0. There you go. So Dimension's another one, right? You just buy the launch, kind of sell the trend loss. We probably did listing anchored on this. go to lower time frames and see if I can find it. Oh, this is gonna take a minute, isn't it, chat? There we go. Right, so when this thing starts losing the listing anchored, it's over. You can trade it until it loses the listing anchored, and that's just, it's fucking over. You could see the same thing on Pump, right? Pump was similar, if I remember correctly. There you go. Somewhat similar. Listing anchored, you lose the listing anchored, it's fucking over. That's some sauce for you guys. Remember this the next time the market's hot and there's new coins. Remember this one. It's free money glitch. What's your opinion on new all-time high on Bitcoin this year? This is the way that I would have to see it. So if we're gonna get new all-time highs on Bitcoin, I think this is the path for it, right? This year, I'll try to strongman that argument. The path for it looks something like this. Some shit like this has to play out in order for Bitcoin to get new all-time highs this year. The least likely way, the way that I would not bet on personally, I see the hardest path forward is if you just did something like this, you set a higher low, and then you go like that. I don't see this happening. Or this. If we're going to get new all-time highs, it's going to be like very extended sideways, and you'll probably still have to shake people out underneath like 74K. The Tsitsipas disrespect, dude. I completely forgot about Tsitsipas. No problem, Glitch, man. Like the stream, boys. Half of you haven't. Sub to if you aren't. Yeah, I'd appreciate that, man. Hit me with the sub. If you're enjoying the stream, if you got something out of the stream, if you learned something from me in the past and you're not subbed, hit the sub, dude. Costs you nothing. You watch anyways. You know? Why not? If down the line and you're like tired of doc streams and you don't want to hang out anymore and you see my shit on your YouTube feed and you're like, I don't want to watch this anymore, just unsubscribe at that time. How do you determine the trend was lost? It's a combination of price structure. Price action will precede trend loss. So if you get bearish signals at the highs, so let's say we're having a really good structure, right? You're making higher highs and higher lows. And then the most recent high has to come back all the way to the prior low. That's a sign to me that things are getting heavier and heavier, right? Or the extension argument. First leg, super strong extension. Second leg, weaker extension. Third leg, weakest extension, right? This is your whatever cone thing that people love to draw, right? Momentum getting weaker and weaker, right? You may even come back and tag the trend here. But the idea is you've come back to the prior low. You're weakening your momentum. That's probably going to precede trend loss. Even if you get a bounce here, it's probably going to precede trend loss, right? Probably something that I should have cared about a little bit more when we were tagging the yearly VWAP right here, because I was making all those high time frame bearish arguments and I still sent the long here, which worked out. Like I made money on that long, but I didn't aggressively short, right? I just went delta neutral, right? I went delta neutral into this pump where I should have just been short biased and fucking slammed the short. Could have been a generational trade, right? Because I have size now that I didn't have a couple years ago, and I trade Bitcoin now, and I don't really trade Bitcoin swings, so this could have been a banger. Actually, the one I'm talking about isn't even there; it's here, right? So it bounced up. I talked to you guys. I think I had the 5-minute outlooks or whatever, right? And I talked to you guys about the 107K short. Coming back up into prior week's values and stuff like that. We talked all about this. I shorted this. I hedged out here. We did okay, but I could have made money here rather than just being defensive. So those kind of things precede trend loss. I gotta hold on to all these all longs for 11 months. To be fair, I think everyone has forgotten about Stefanos. Yeah, poor guy, dude. Thanks, Doc. You make Mondays better. That's very kind of you. Which EMAs do you use in your EMA strategy? All right, well, since you hit me with the niceness, I'm gonna drop you with this. Check chat. All right. Any other questions, fam? I'll hang around for a few more minutes if we have any more questions. Otherwise, that's probably going to do it for me. Also, I've been kind of studying up on like how to grow a channel, how to keep people's attention and everything like that. Apparently, what I just said right there is like, I'm going to close up soon, is the biggest blunder you can make as far as like retention, because the minute I say that, some of you guys are going to close off the stream, right? You're not going to wait for the end of it. So if I'm really smart, I wouldn't tell you. I'm not smart though. Where do I share the banner clip? What does that mean? Share a clip? It's gonna be hard because you can try DMing me if you're verified, I guess, on Twitter. I'm probably not gonna click a link though. So probably you can't. You probably can't share. You probably can't share clips with me because I'm probably not going to click the link. Maybe I'll close off with some ideas for tomorrow. See, here's the thing. I want to make ideas for tomorrow, but I don't know where price action is going to be tomorrow at New York Open. I can just give you the idea that if we're trading back towards these lows again, and we're doing something like this, I'll probably want to send another long again. That's about it. Good morning, Doc. Missed the stream, up or down? Just rewatch the beginning of the stream, sir. Everything was covered. I laid out the bullish argument, laid out the bearish argument. I laid out, you know, what my plans are, what I think on medium time frame is most likely, what I think on high time frame is most likely. Everything was laid out. Where do I share the banger clip? Oh, I got you. I don't know what clip you want to share. See, the issue is normally you could just like tag me on Twitter, but I have notifications off on Twitter. So unless I follow you, if you tag me in something, I'm not going to see it. Even if you tag me in a comment or like you go at DocXBT, I'm not going to see it unless I follow you because I have notifications off. That's just a me thing, dude. Otherwise, I'd spend too much time on Twitter. There used to be a time that I wasted a lot of time on Twitter. I don't want to, you know, it's been a long time. I think since I joined Paragon as an analyst, like one of the first things Mag said was like, just turn your notifications off on Twitter. And I was like, why didn't I ever just fucking do that? You're right. Think about it this way, guys. Like, what did I post yesterday? So I'll give you an example. Let's go over to the left screen. So here's my Twitter, right? I posted some tweet yesterday that for some reason got a bunch of likes. I didn't see any of this until today, right? Like I saw this comment. I replied to one dude. If I have notifications on, I'm getting literally 385 notifications. Every time someone likes it, again, it'll pop up and it'll pop up and it'll pop up and it'll pop up. Every time someone tweets and comments and retweets, I'm getting notification, it's just nonstop. This thing just says plus 20 all the time. And your brain just wants to click it just to get rid of the plus 20, and then you start scrolling and you see stuff and you read it, and it just becomes this feedback loop of spending infinite time on Twitter. James always is very curious and always asks me questions based on trading. I don't know why he doesn't come to the stream, because he would just learn so much if he came to the stream. But he's probably the only guy left on CT that asks me questions in the comments that are like trading related, so I always try to answer him, just, you know. And then a bunch of people either troll me or are just bots. There's just a bunch of people that are bots or trolling. What are these indicators? What EMAs do you use? What EMAs do you use? I'm so surprised they just ripped right through this ask right here. It's kind of nuts. When will you post the 2025 yearly review lessons learned? You're right, dude. I actually thought about that over the weekend, and I just couldn't be asked to do it, but I need to do it soon. Definitely in January. I'll post it in January, 100%. We're already halfway through January, so within the next 2 weeks, it'll be posted on YouTube for sure. Those are always fun to do. I think the difference you're going to see between my 2023 video, the 2023-2024 versus 2025. In 2023-2024, there was a lot of things that I was learning. So I had a bunch of sections on like lessons learned from this year. 2025 was not a huge lessons learned year for me. And the reason being for that is I feel like I'm just so many years now into the game where it's less about what new things can I learn, what new things can I pick up on, and more about how well can I execute on the things that I already know, right? So 2025 was more of a let's just get fucking better year, right? And I started trading a completely different way. I made some big mistakes in 2025, namely like being long into 1010, right? I got clapped on 1010. That was a big loss for me. That'll be in the video. I'll talk about that extensively for sure, this candle right here. And other than that, other than this moment, honestly, in 2025, I had a really good year. Other than this one sucked. Everything else, pretty good. I can't complain. We'll do the review. I'll cover everything that I thought about throughout the year. For anyone who watched my stream the entirety of the year, none of this should be super new to you guys because you saw me talking about this the entire way. But yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be a nice review. It'll be like an hour long. Nice little study session for you guys. I'm pretty sure my 2024 review video is my most watched video on YouTube, which is, I think, like 3,000 views, which is kind of nothing. It's kind of embarrassing, but hey, it's hard for a motherfucker to grow on YouTube. Anyways, I think that'll do it for the stream. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. You guys take care.